Has Wizards killed Magic Finance? Let's take a trip down memory lane. Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be chatting about Magic Finance and is it dead? Did Wizards of the Coast kill Magic the Gathering Finance? And I want to give a conversation about this. I don't want to talk about is Magic Finance good or is it bad? If you want to discuss that, discuss it in the comment section below and go back and forth. And that is not the heart of this video. I don't want to talk about is Magic Finance good or bad. What I want to talk about is, did Wizards manage to kill Magic Finance? And what was the history of that and kind of what led to that? And then I want to ask this question of, will Magic Finance exist in the future? Will that be able to be a thing that happens? So first off, back in the day, not really my day, I just kind of looked at it and I was like amazed at how people were able to accomplish it. I followed it. Like I was in the Reddits and I would follow it and I could never touch it. Like I could never figure it out. But people would follow like preview season, and before preview season even, people would go to pre-releases and they would see the cards, and then they would actually speculate and buy up singles from the market, not really for like a investment purchase, not really thinking like long-term investment, more thinking of speculating for short-term gains to buy them out and then to sell them once everybody else caught on to how powerful a card used to be. If it was a 50-cent bulk rare that nobody ever played with, and all of a sudden a new card came out in the new set and everybody would want that 50-cent bulk rare, but they bought them all at 50 cents and now they can sell them for $10 or $15. It was easy to turn that 50 cent, you buy 10, 20 of them, and you turn 50 cents into whatever, $200, $300, depending on the value of the card and how many you picked up for that 50 cent. So it wasn't really about investing. In my opinion, it wasn't even, I guess it was about the money. Like for most people, I think it was probably about the money a little bit, but it was also about kind of flexing and showing how much they knew about the game of Magic the Gathering, that they could identify cards from the past that would now be more, prevalent in a certain format or now be better because of cards today in the present. And I think it definitely has a monetary sentiment to it. Obviously, these individuals were making good money, making $200, $300 off of Magic the Gathering is a win for that person. But I think more than that, what I gained or what I understood from people was that they wanted to flex. They wanted to share. This is why the Reddits and the subgroups and the communities grew, because people wanted to share their speculations and how they won, and even in a lesser degree, like how they lost. And it became this kind of flex to be like, look what I did, and look at the puzzle within Magic the Gathering ecosystem, look at the puzzle that I solved. But then somehow Wizards of the Coast has successfully, in my opinion, has successfully killed that ecosystem. You can no longer really speculate on single individual Magic cards in a way that was happening, 5, 10, 15 years ago compared to what is happening now. And I think, I don't want to talk about, was this a good or bad thing? More, I want to talk about where did this go? Did Wizards of the Coast really kill it? Or could it exist again? And so what happened? Did Wizards of the Coast just print everything to oblivion and now there's so many more cards that you can't possibly buy them out to make the prices go high? Is that what happened? Or, yes, but also there's a lot of other things that happen, I think, that people forget about and don't talk about. Here's my perspective. I would love to hear your perspective again in the comment section. Number one, Throne of Eldraine. I really feel like Throne of Eldraine was the timeline in which these things really radically shifted downwards. Throne of Eldraine was the epitome of like power creep. The set just kind of completely rocked a lot of formats, both standard and modern, and cards got banned and cards were frustrating and everybody, and it became because of the power creep, and then as well as Throne of Eldraine, I would say like Modern Horizons, when they started printing cards direct to Modern, it became much more difficult for those who had the willpower and the knowledge of Magic the Gathering to make predictions and to make speculations. It became much more difficult for them to accomplish this little mini game within the Magic the Gathering community because of the power creep and the direct to modern printing of cards. I think that that is a huge point that people often underlook, that you could no longer really understand what Wizards was going to do because they kind of just blew it out of the water with Throne of Eldraine and with Modern Horizons and that kind of stuff. So I think that was a big thing. It was harder to speculate on. Two, was an obvious one, a reduction in OP events and the Magic Pro Tour. And in fact, there's like two big timelines here. Pro Tour changes, like significant changes in 2018, and then the cancellation in 2021. And I think part of this also you could allude to the pandemic happening and shutting down organized play was really the nail in the coffin of something that Wizards had already started to do earlier before the pandemic. But because of those organized play events now being gone, it didn't drive the demand. When you have thousands of players going week after week or month after month to these events and the meta is shifting and it's changing, it creates an ecosystem in which people are buying a low percentage in high volume, a low percentage of cards in high volume. And because of all those OP events, it drove the demand for singles through the roof. And then because of that, it was easier to speculate. So when you remove all of that, you remove the demand for the cards that people wanted. And part of that, again, part three, is that they kind of killed Standard. That Standard, just kind of because of Magic Arena, because of pandemic, Standard dying kind of caused this demand for the cards again to decrease. And within all of that, so you have this ecosystem that no longer exists, Magic shifts and it changes. And now it's all about what? You know it, Commander. It's all about Commander, which, opens up the play and the number of pool of cards significantly. And I think in a lot of ways, Magic the Gathering as a game is stronger today than ever as like hey, how many people are playing Magic the Gathering? Because of Commander, the width of Magic the Gathering as a game has expanded, but the depth has just been destroyed. You don't have these deep deck techs and these deep interactions that allow for something to be speculated on like a single card, because in Commander you only need one of each, and your Commander, the width of the number of card pool and all that stuff, it just makes it so that you don't need the card that your buddy needs down the road, because there's 5 different cards that do the same thing in your color base for Commander. And so because of all that stuff, I think the demand for cards decreased. And then they did something crazy, and that was Secret Lair. And this one is a huge one. You can no longer speculate on singles going up in value, because at any point in time, you have this additional risk that Magic the Gathering is just gonna print an expensive card in a Secret Lair, and that they're gonna devalue the card significantly in that way. So that is my 4 kind of reasons that Magic Finance was destroyed and that it died, and that it is much, much more difficult. And most people in those groups and those economies and those ecosystems aren't really speculating on cards. What they're doing is they're just complaining that Magic is dead and that the cards can't be speculated on, that they're printing to oblivion. I don't personally think that it's as much that they are printing to oblivion as it is that the demand for individual cards has lowered because of the width of which Commander plays. But I'm curious what you think. Where does this go from here? Will people actually be able to start speculating more as we understand Commander better, and as we think that, will that go through? Is this good or is it bad for the game? I personally think Wizards is probably happy that they got rid of this ecosystem where other people are profiting off of their game. And now I think people are saying, oh, it's good, make the cards cheaper, but the cards aren't really cheaper. In my opinion, Wizards is just taking all the money and the profit, and they're getting it rather than the community and being able to flip cards and do that thing. So I'm curious what you think. Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know where you think Magic the Gathering Finance goes. Again, this is not talking about long-term investment, more short-term speccing on cards. Have yourselves a great day. Be kind to the people around you. Let me know what I missed and what I didn't miss. We'll see you again next video.